Welcome to JSA TV, the newsroom for telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine, EVP at JSA, and joining me today is Mr. Brad Botts. Brad is the Regional Vice President of Commercial and Carrier Sales at Vyve Broadband. Brad, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks, Dean. Excited about being here.
Outstanding. So, Brad, I can't help but notice the credenza behind you. It's a little bare. Are you just moving in or just moving out?
Well, we're getting ready to move out. So, our kids are now adults and we're looking to downsize. And so in the process of that hecticness, so we're trying to balance work life at this point.
I get it. Well, congratulations on becoming sort of the empty nesters and living your best lives. So I appreciate your being here today.
Yes, sir.
But Brad, let's go ahead and jump right in. For our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Vyve Broadband and, more importantly, the Commercial and Carrier Sales Group? What does the group do, and how does it ultimately fit into the Vyve organization?
Thanks, Dean. Vyve Broadband is a rural broadband cable internet provider that services a little over 300 communities in 16 states across the U.S. We're really broken up into three segments from a customer perspective. We got the consumer side, the commercial side, and then the carrier side. And so I'm obviously involved in both commercial and the carrier. From a commercial perspective, we offer, internet speeds up to 10 gigabit. On the residential side, it's up to 1 gig. So we're really beefing up, our broadband capabilities in these underserved rural communities. As we're finding out, those folks need more bandwidth in order to do business and live and work, today. In terms of the commercial, we do things such as hosted voice as well as cloud services. So we're not just an internet cable company. So we're trying to expand our footprint. We're a little bit over 12,000 fiber miles and growing. And so that obviously helps us on the carrier side in terms of partnering with other carrier partners and getting our footprint expanded.
I love it. So let's staying on that theme with the expansion and stuff. I understand that your carrier sales group has experienced some significant growth in recent years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that growth and how you might attribute it?
Yeah, thank you. I think, it's really broken up into four areas of focus. So when I took over the group in 2019, when I came aboard, we had roughly 20 partners at that time, which is pretty solid. But, in the carrier space, you typically want to expand to as many as possible, up to 100. So we're at that point where we have about growing close to 70 partnerships now over the last couple of years. And that's really done through, trying to expand upon our existing relationships that we had, as well as really trying to onboard and recruit new partners and really get them to know who Vyve is. So obviously we're in rural communities, so not a lot of folks know about us. And so really trying to promote us and our capabilities. The second area of focus was really around becoming more involved in the carrier community. And how you do that is really through a couple of angles, is obviously marketing, but also having a presence at these carrier events. So there's multiple carrier shows that go on in our industry, and a couple that we're heavily involved in is ITW, that was just recently in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And then upcoming here in Denver at Encompass. Those are the two that we really focus in on, and, having a presence there, building relationships, meeting new partners, letting folks know about our capabilities. And so that's really helped, grow and expand those relationships. The third thing is, there is a database out there in the carrier world called Connect Base and MasterStream. Those are two heavy, platforms that allow really any carrier partner to find out where you're at, what markets you service, what communities you service, what addresses are serviceable on net, near net. And so we've been able to expand our database and our presence on those platforms to allow, carriers to go and see, where they could offer service, where we can offer services and provide them quotes. And the last thing is when in 2019 we had literally one carrier pop, an NNI in Dallas, and since then we've expanded to 6 and soon to be 7. And really, what a carrier pop is allows us to have an NNI or a network-to-network interface with our carrier partners And that's how we do business with them. And so just allowing them more presence across our 16 states, being closer, to where their connectivity is at and their needs are, and really making it easier for them to do business with us.
Yeah, I love it. It really does sound like it's a win-win for you and your carrier partners. But really quickly, did you enjoy ITW being face-to-face this year?
I did. And, I got the gift of COVID. I was exposed to COVID. Luckily, I'm vaccinated. So I think I got my second booster naturally. But no, it was a great event. Last year was really difficult with the being right in the pandemic. I think there was only about 700 participants.
Mm-hmm.
This year there was closer to 4,000 or 5,000, and it was just a hopping in place. And it was good to see folks again and getting back out, traveling.
Yeah, no, I felt exactly the same way with all those people. I didn't actually run into you, but it was nice to be there face to face again, fully vaxxed, fully boosted. Everything went well for me, so that's good. But back to Vyve Broadband. Let's talk a little bit about your network. I have read a great deal over really the last couple of months about your fiber access networks, the FAN networks, and some great builds and some things that are helping to bring like meaningful transformative broadband services to some of those rural, easy for me to say, right, communities where you guys serve. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that network and ultimately, its importance to the commercial and carrier customers?
Yeah, so, we were formed really through three companies, Northwood Communications, Vyve Broadband, as well as Eagle Communications. And so, we came together in forces and we found in particular, like our Eagle markets are highly penetrated with fiber, whereas the Northwood wasn't so much. And so we really identified 25 markets across the 16 states that were really poor in fiber. And so we beefed up that infrastructure, gone ahead and proactively built out the networks. Obviously the pandemic taught us that more people need more bandwidth, both at home and at work. And so there was just a huge pent-up demand for fiber and gigabit speeds. And so we were able to get those investments, from our investors, and we're knee deep into activating those fans as we speak. And that just allows us to offer more serviceable fiber addresses for both our commercial and carrier and our residential customers, as well as really help our rural communities thrive with their business, and really grow. And that's really what they were hindered with, was lack of bandwidth, being able to expand their business in a digital world.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then one of the reasons why I really wanted to speak with you today is that, prior to the pandemic, you were still out there kind of fighting the good fight and making sure that some of those underserved communities were getting the bandwidth that they needed to better their business and then just kind of bring their communities a bit more into the digital world. And then the pandemic happened and we were all working from home and a very, kind of dispersed workforce. And so that reliable, truly robust bandwidth and connection was necessary all over the place. And so it probably kind of turbocharged your mission a little bit, which is why we were we had our fingers on kind of the pulse of what was happening there at Vyve Broadband. So thank you for being with me today. I really appreciate it. And for our viewers that would like to know more about Vyve Broadband, where can they go?
Yeah, we have a website, much like everyone, at www.vyvebroadband.com. And we have a landing page for carrier as well as commercial and residential. So you can get more detailed information there. And obviously you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you.
Awesome. Brad, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon.